What's up, everybody? Wow. I got a lot of sleep yesterday. I actually went to bed early. I had to take my emergency medication just to go to sleep, and now I've been feeling drowsy all day, but I'm back, and you know, hopefully not gonna pull an all-nighter. No, I'm gonna go to bed early again. I'm pretty tired, but I don't like just, you know, I did clean my room, well, clean my house a bit, clean the front room a bit, did a few loads of laundry. Over the weekend, I'm gonna clean the whole house. So it's like really important for me to clean the whole house. My surgery's in a little bit less than 2 months. I mean, a little less than 3 months. Feels like it's taking forever. But it won't be forever. It's happening soon. But I need a clean house. I need to recover in like a clean environment. Okay? And also I just hate living in a dumpster. And it's really difficult for me to do things like clean my house. Like it's an autism thing. I really wish it wasn't a thing. I really wish that I was able to like take control of my life. But it takes a little bit extra effort. You know, for example, I need to clear this thing. I haven't cleaned this out. I need to throw it out. I'm gonna clean it out right now. It's like I just leave this like right in my room, like nasty. Okay, I cleaned it. See, it's just a matter of doing it. Like, once you actually do it, then you don't have to do it again. Kind of like how I work. Like, I have something that's a problem until it's not. And then it's no longer a problem. So, yeah, I don't know what everyone's up to today. Everyone in this interwebs. All the people out there. Nobody's here yet, but to all the people out there in the future, I'm watching you. I can see all of you. I know everything. I know everything. I know everything. Big know-it-all. Okay? Exhausting. I know everything. All the time. At all times. I can see into the past, I can see into the future, I can see inside of your soul. Okay, and inside of your soul, it's very stinky. Okay, it's quite stinky. And you gotta take a bath. Or at least like use some soap and water and a sponge. Or something. I don't smell very bad at all. I do wash my body. I wash myself, especially my ass. Okay. Every time I poop, after I poop, I get the shower head and I wash everything and I'm most clean. Okay, because I don't want shit in my pants. It's gross. You don't want shit in your pants. You don't want it like going all over your panties. Okay, it's no good. No good stinky panties. I want, if somebody were, you know, in the very unlikely scenario that someone would pull my pants down so they could, you know, do sexy time with me, I don't want them to smell something stinky, okay? I want them to smell a nice, clean body. that like they want to have sex with. An unlikely scenario. Yeah, at this time anyway. In the future, I'm gonna feel much better about myself, and I'm probably gonna get laid a lot more, and I'm gonna get paid. But either way, we're not there yet. Right now, we're just playing World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft! I want to play World of Warcraft! I want to play right now. I want to play World of Warcraft. 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 I want to play World of Warcraft. Why aren't we playing? Why aren't we playing World of Warcraft? Can you tell me one good reason why you're not playing World of Warcraft right now, Rebecca? Can you give me one good reason why you're not playing right now? I need a tank. I need a tank right now. Rebecca, log in, please. Signed, Guild Leader. I'm sorry, I'm so busy. Oh, yeah, sorry, I was sleeping. I couldn't tank the big raid that took 2 months for you to organize. In order to get everybody logged in at the same time. That you had to pay XQC $80,000 just to be on the phone during the raid. Sorry I missed it. I had to go to the library. I had to read a book. Sorry, I missed the raid. I lost my phone, and I didn't realize that I dropped it in the toilet, and then I flushed it. Oh, what's this? Oh, that's another phone. That's not the phone I dropped. This one doesn't have an alarm clock. The speaker broke from the last time I dropped that one in the toilet. That's why I didn't make the raid. I didn't make the raid because of reasons. Very valid reasons. I did not make the raid. I'm sorry, I know that I'm like the only qualified tank you can find. But I was just so busy reading a book in the library. I needed to expand my mind. Are you against education? I don't even know what's going on. I'm just making up shit. Oh my goodness. Well, enough of that. Time to get serious. Puts on glasses. Pushes glasses. Bing! Anime mode. Yeah, seriously though. Today's Friday. 'Cause it's Friday. Okay, it's Friday. You know what that means. It's Rebecca Black Friday. Okay, and it's Friday. Rebecca Black. It's Friday and I have the whole weekend to play World of Warcraft. Because that's all I can really manage to do at this time in my life. I wish I don't expect anyone to get it. I really don't. Obviously, some people are going to have some kind of issue with it. Welcome to the internet, where everybody has an issue with everything you say all the time. And we like it that way. That's how we like it. I'm actually shocked if I say something in real life and nobody's like telling me how wrong I am. I'm like, I feel like I actually did say something wrong, because it's like on the internet, like you're so used to defending yourself, and in real life, it's like people are a lot more peaceful. I mean, not all the time, but like on average, people are a lot more reasonable in real life. And like when you say something without somebody like injecting their opinion about everything, about how everything that you just said is wrong, and like listing a giant essay of how you're wrong, you know, it kind of throws you off guard. Then you start to think, oh shit, like what aren't they saying? like you know, it's like what did I actually say so bad that they can't even speak up? And it's like that all the time. But really, it's just people aren't like that in real life. They're only like that on the internet. But that's okay, as long as you put the two things in distinct categories. Okay? As long as you like separate life and the internet's great. As long as you don't expect it to be like real life. And real life is great, as long as you don't expect it to be like the internet. Put the two together, and oh boy, you have mental illness. I have mental illness. Yikes. Don't want that. I'm gonna put you away somewhere on a farm. They're gonna put Rebecca on a farm somewhere. She's never gonna be seen again. She's never gonna be seen again. Cause she cray-cray. She cray-cray. She cray-cray. It's that weird crazy lady, Rebecca. Ah. Oh, not that bitch again. Tired of that bitch. It's always popping up in my feed. Like, what the fuck is she on? What the fuck does she need to be on? What is she talking about? I don't even think she knows what she's talking about. She's either a genius or absolutely insane. Well, you know. I have been on the internet for 23 years. I kind of know a thing or two. And one of these, and one of these, and one of these. Okay. Wait. Here's my real impression. You know, it's like you can say things and then people are just gonna like, and that makes sense. Exactly. What I just said does not need any explanation. No, it's like you say something, you're intending like something like really nice, and like you're trying to say like, oh, this is like what I think about this, and like I want to have a conversation, and like let's talk about this. Hello. One gun. Let's have a conversation about this. And then they're like, oh, fuck you then. And I'm like, what did I say? And they're like, and you're like, let's have a conversation. I have all these points that you know, you made all these points. Let me say all these points. And then they're like, fuck you. And I'm like, whoa, like I was just trying to have a friendly conversation. They're like, oh, it didn't sound like it. And I'm like, what do you mean? Here's the clip. Well, this is why you're wrong, and you're wrong because of this, and everything you just said is wrong. You couldn't be more wrong. Your family was wrong, and they should have put you up for adoption. What? I was just having a friendly conversation. I was just trying to start a dialogue. Why are you coming at me, bro? Why are you coming at? I'm just having a intellectual discussion. Okay? 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 Don't you come back at me like this! Don't you come back at me like that! With that thing that you just said! With your friendly conversation. Your friendly conversation. You know, Rebecca, you know, that really reminds me of the time that I told you to shut the fuck up. Hey, Rebecca, remember that conversation we had? Oh, which one? The one where I told you that you're a dumb fucking bitch. Oh, that time that you, like, said that I was awesome? Yay! Everyone likes me. Everyone's talking about me. Alright, so I know that everybody knows. I'm not even gonna say this person's name, but everybody in this room knows who I'm talking about, right? Right? That one chick who keeps showing up on your Twitter feed and in your Discord channels? I don't need to say her name, because if I say her name, I'm gonna be targeted and I'm gonna be canceled. But I can say this and everyone knows who I'm talking about, right? 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 Oh yeah, I know that. That person. Yeah, that person. That I'm not even going to identify whether that person was male or female, or the color of that person's skin, or if that person, like, you know, had an arm or not. And this unidentified person that we all know exactly who we're talking about in this meeting that we're having, how do we deal with this person? Just don't talk to her. Don't tell your friends about her. Don't even acknowledge her. No, you're the only one here, One Gun Grave. You're the only one here. You were correct. You were correct. Oh my goodness. Oh, you know, I'm just being myself. Yeah, I don't even know what I'm going on about. I was on Twitter earlier and I wrote like a 16 post thread about Asmongold. Not about him, but like something he says. I agree with him on a lot of things, but he has like some skewed point of view on feminism, and I'm not even going to get into the fat phobia thing. You know, him and XQC both on that one. Here's the thing. There's always this discussion among males, and even among some females, where it's like, but why do they have to bring gender into it? Why do they have to bring race into it? Why can't we just talk about people like we're all people? Well, take it away, Gustavo. I don't know who Gustavo is, but he's like, I was gonna say Scooby-Doo. Someone needs a timeout and get her some snacks. Now here's the deal. Why can't we talk about everyone as if they're just people arguments? It's because if you're on the side of neutrality, you're on the side of the enemy. And it's a hard pill to swallow, okay? Because people don't really understand. Things are not inherently unbiased. You cannot have non-bias. There is obviously a difference in the experience of a male and the experience of a female. Or and it's just like people are like, oh, we're tired of hearing this shit. We're tired of hearing these people on Twitter talk about how like unfair it is for them. And it's like, and it's like, okay, well, that's like your point of experience is you just want to go on the internet and have a good time. You don't want to hear about social issues. You don't want to hear about racism. You don't want to hear about misogyny. And that's because you don't have to deal with it. But how do you think it feels like for the people going through it? Like, if you're tired of it and you don't even have to deal with it, how do you think it feels to deal with it? And it's like, it's just like this endless back and forth. It's like you're afraid to even talk about these things because as soon as you talk about them, people just roll their eyes. They're like, oh, here we go, another social justice warrior or another woke person, whatever that means. And it's like every single time you try to have this conversation, you have to like walk on eggshells. Because as soon as you say something that sounds even remotely annoying to these people, they'll just like completely, they'll just like completely shut it out. They're like not even listening at this point. And it's like, you have to like repeat yourself so many times. It's been like this my whole life, not just like with these kind of issues. It's just like, I will say something about like something that is harming me or like something that I'm dealing with to somebody because I like, you know, I want to figure out like a solution. I like want to figure out a problem. But people are like, oh, you know, now I'm not going to talk to you because you were yelling, or I'm not going to talk to you because you were like upset. And it's like, okay, well, I mean, what if I'm upset every single time? Am I just never going to be listened to? Am I never going to be heard just because people, and the reason why I'm upset is because people don't take me seriously, and people don't take me seriously because I'm always upset. And it's like this endless cycle that I have to basically walk on eggshells. I have to like be extremely careful about being who I am. And it's like you have to constantly like change who you are just for people to take you seriously. And it's annoying. It's really annoying. It's like, okay, if this person is like even remotely annoyed by me, this person is going to tune out. If this person is even like, you know, if I say things in a way that this person agrees with, or I say things that this person agrees with, this person is going to be fine with me. But if I say anything at all that goes against their preconceived notions about life, they're like, oh, well, that's obviously just some crazy Twitter person. And this is the one thing about Asmongold that is like, I know people will talk about him, whatever. I actually agree with his opinion on a lot of things, and it's because he really speaks his mind and he says a lot of good things. But this one single thing is actually annoying. This one thing. It's like as soon as something doesn't fit what he thinks things should be, he tunes it out entirely. And it's like, dude, like, come on. Like seriously, like you can't talk to this person. Because it's like you can't even, I mean, I can't even say anything in his stream. Like, I already know. I'm a smart person. If you say anything in his stream that he doesn't agree with, you're gonna get banned. Like, I'm deathly afraid to even speak my mind. Because, like, if I do, it's like, well, then it's like, well, I had a chance to actually, like, start a conversation, but I have to always walk around eggshells around this person. Like, if you say anything wrong, he's just gonna be like, oh, you know, he might talk to you for a second, and then it's like, it goes into this big slippery slope, and it's like at the beginning of my stream, like, I was just trying to have a conversation, but of course, you're only text. And so, like, you know, he's gonna have all these conclusions based on what he's reading in his chat, and he has all these preconceived notions that, like, that's part of what having a conversation is about, and he's generally willing to do that if it's somebody who agrees with him. And it's like, if anybody disagrees with you, I understand it's his stream. He doesn't have to have that on his stream. But just because he's allowed to do it doesn't mean it's not annoying. And yeah, to be fair, I ban people from my stream just because they're annoying. Okay? Like, everybody should have that. And knowing that, that's why I don't really get into things on his channel. Like, I go into his channel, he reads what I say. I'm not gonna get into it with him because it's like, well, okay, well, what if there was a chance to have an actual conversation, but because I didn't word it just the right way, now I'll never be able to have a chance at a conversation ever again. Because now I'm known as this person that is like, you know, oh yeah, Rebecca Lauren, yeah, ban her from the Discord. You know, don't even listen to her. She's a fucking psycho. You know, I got banned from like almost every single OTK Discord. Okay? Like, it's so frustrating. You're just trying to like talk to people. And it's like you're trying really hard to like not annoy people. And then you just annoy people. And it's like, it'd be one thing if it's like, okay, like, what do I really care? Like, why do I care so much? Okay, it's not because I care what these people think, and honestly, I think that would be a lie. I do care what people think. You know, at least reasonable people, or halfway reasonable people. I'm a halfway reasonable person. But it's like, it gets like this, like, no matter who I talk to, eventually. Like, if I start speaking my mind, people are gonna start interpreting what I say in an incorrect way. And it, like, turns into this weird thing that is, like, nowhere even close to what I meant. And, like, I'm just trying to fumble around for the right words. Because I don't really know how to, like, explain myself because it makes perfect sense to me. And then when I explain it to other people, they're like, oh, well, no, not because, you know, all these other people are right, but you're wrong. And it's like, okay, well, why am I wrong? And they're like, and I'm like, I don't agree with the fact that they think I'm wrong. It's like, it's frustrating. Anyway, I don't really care so much. I mean, I do, but I don't, if that makes any sense. It's just like, you know, you try to be involved with conversations online, which are kind of dog shit, but it, you know, where else can we have these conversations? You know, it's like, I know that the internet is not, I'm not so delusional to think the internet is some place where we can like change the world or whatever, but we kind of can. Okay, like, it's a place to speak. It's a place for people to see what you're right and listen and hear what you say. And sure, there's a lot of things you can't change on the internet, but there is a place to, there is something to be said about having a forum to actually discuss things that normally wouldn't be talked about, especially since obviously I can't just go outside and start talking to myself. That would be crazy. But I can turn on a camera and start talking to myself, and that's not crazy. It's the same exact activity, but is it? It's not, because I'm recording it and it's like able to be viewed in the future. Whereas if I just went outside and started talking to myself, that wouldn't make any sense at all. If that makes any sense. Like, someone could potentially clip this and react to it. Okay, so it's I don't know. It's not about what I want, it's about what is. And the thing is like, I wish that, like, I could be a part of conversations because I want to see the world change. And if you have no voice, if people don't even know what you're saying because they don't even know you exist, then you can't change anything. Like, I want to be a part of the conversation. I see people on the internet, on social media, constantly going back and forth. There's all these conversations, there's like retweets, there's like people talking. Every time I say something, it's a fucking ghost city. Like, for real. Like, I have a lot to say. Okay, and like, I would like to be a part of the conversation because maybe I could, I don't know if I don't want to go so far as to say I can make a huge difference, but I can, you know, I can at least, like, you know, how do you know if you don't try? You know, it's like I have a different perspective. I have a different point of view, and that alone is strong. Like, you know, it's like I have a very unique experience in this world. I have a very unique frame of view, you know, point of view, and I have a lot to say, and I listen a lot too. And it's like I for 23 years, I've been trying to be heard on the internet, and I just basically shout into the void. And it's frustrating as hell. It's frustrating as hell. When for 23 years, you continually try to be heard, and people just don't want to hear it. And it's like, I see on YouTube, like, so many dog shit opinions about things that are getting, like, hundreds of thousands of views. And I'm like, why can't I be involved in the conversation? All I have to do, all I can do is just, like, comment on a YouTube video, and it just gets lost to the void. Or I comment on a, like, or I make a tweet, and it, like, gets lost to the void. And I just want to be a part of the conversation. And it's like, not because I want to, it's just because, like, hey, I have value too. I have things to say. And, you know, you might not always like it, but it, you know, like, what gives you more of a reason to talk than me? You know, like, if everything I say is stupid, well, you can say the same exact thing about anybody else. What makes me special? It's like, oh yeah, but you know, what I'm saying is genius, and what you're saying is dog shit, and nobody cares about what you think because you're just some chick and you're trans. And so, like, either it's because you're a chick or it's because you're a trans, because they don't, you know, people who are transphobic don't actually see me as a woman, which ironically they treat me the same way they do every other woman. Like, if I wasn't a woman, we wouldn't be having that conversation. I mean, it's like you can't have, like, the experience of having diarrhea. You can't have the experience of having diarrhea and being constipated at the same time. Okay, it's one or the other. Yeah, and you see, the problem though is if the masses get to decide, then I have absolutely no decision. That's the problem. And it's like, I don't think it's an insurmountable problem. I just have to make sure that I can, like, you know, get louder. I need to get the masses to listen. You know, like, say or do something that maybe they'll actually care about and take me seriously. Instead of, like, oh, it's just some other, like, you know, social justice warrior, some blue hair, one of those trans peoples. Like they've already decided who I am. They haven't even listened to me. And even when they do listen to me, it's getting filtered through this preconceived notion of who I am. It's frustrating. And I don't know, maybe I am cray-cray. But then it's like, well, what choice do I have? I get one life, and I can't be anybody but who I am, so, like, what choice do I have? Like, what do you want from me? Like, I'm only working with what I got. Okay? You would do the same thing. Like, you would do the same exact thing if you were in my shoes. Okay? Like, you can only say and do things that are within your control. Okay? And I'm doing everything I can. And I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Maybe I'm doing nothing wrong. I don't know. Anyway, I don't know. It's just, it's frustrating because, like, a lot of these content creators, like, you know, it's like, I don't judge people unfairly. But there's just, like, certain things where it's like, come on, bro. Like, this one single thing you just can't seem to get out of this, like, rut. That you, like, have this, like, preconceived notions that anybody who's talking about feminism equals I don't care. Yeah, fuck it and just go fishing. Exactly. It's like you can't even talk about feminism without people rolling their eyes. But it's a serious issue. Like, it's a real problem. Okay? And, like, it's... For the longest time, I lived in denial, but it's affected me my entire life. I was really in denial about it. Like, looking back, I should have known that I was trans much earlier. Okay? Like, looking back, like, it should have been obvious. Okay? Like, everything about my experience was just like... It's really hard to talk about this without getting, like, down, like, slippery slopes, okay? Because it's like... There's so many factors at play. I can't say it's all because of misogyny, or it's all because of transphobia, or it's all because of misandry. Like, misandry is a thing too. And it's all this complicated amalgamation of the trans experience. Because it's not just transphobia, because I didn't even know I was trans for like a long time. It's not misogyny because I was seen as male. And it's not misandry because I'm not male. So what is it? It's just like, it's this really fucked up situation, and I'm just trying to make sense of it, because it's like early on, like, there is a sense of misandry where it's like a man has to be a man. You know what I mean? It's the toxic masculinity, the hyper masculinity, the Andrew Tates of the world. Like, that's like that's a problem that when people mistreat men, and it's usually men who mistreat men, and it leads to other problems. And there's writers who have talked about this. There's Junot Diaz. I don't know if you've heard of him, but Junot Diaz, he came over from the Dominican Republic, or Junot. It's with a T at the end. U-boat. Junot. Yeah. He wrote a bunch of short stories for like an English class in college. We read his story, his collection of short stories, and I wrote an essay about it, and he put my essay and he showed it to the whole entire class as like an example of a good essay. I was a little embarrassed, but because I'm like, what if it's not good? It's like, why are you pumping my ego like this? What if it's not good at all, and you just made it look like it's good? Like, but apparently it was really good, according to the teacher, as an example of a well-written essay. So I mean, I'm a little proud of that, but it's just a college course, you know. But basically, and this was all before transitioning. I was still struggling with these feelings because I didn't know what they were really. I mean, I knew, but I wasn't dealing with them. I was really doubling down on trying to live as male. And it's this toxic masculinity that actually hurts. It's when men hurt other men. And like that's basically what he was talking about in his interviews, and his public speaking, and in his writing. It's the fact that if a boy starts to behave a certain way, or is gay, or is slightly, you know, doing like traditionally non-masculine things, like learning how to sew or knit or something, or do dancing or anything like that, you know, not like playing football or basketball or, you know, some kind of manly thing. And, you know, like men, you know, growing up would not have any real like positive reinforcement. They would have certain role models, like every now and then, you know, I had the experience of like going fishing with my dad, but that's like a half solution, because it's like it's solving the problem, but it's like a happenstance thing. Like, yeah, there's obviously, it's great to have a positive role model, male and female role models. I don't think they had it down in the 60s and 70s. There's a lot of stuff that I think if you went back, you would it's just the same as it is today. There was a lot of misandry going on back then too. I think the difference is that it's now we have Twitter. The same goes, you know, you could say the same thing like with Black Lives Matter. Like, for example, people were, there was a line in the biofilm about Martin Luther King Jr., and it was the president was talking to him, and he said, like, we need men like you leading this movement, not like those militant, not like that militant Malcolm X. And for a split second, you can see in the actor who played Martin Luther King Jr., you could see a look in his face that, like, he wants to clap back, but he knows he can't. Because I feel like saying, oh, you're one of the good ones. And I got this feeling too, because you know, there was a during the whole thing with the whole J.K. Rowling, you know, which had nothing to do with that Harry Potter game that came out, and people were like boycotting it. And Asmongold posted something, and I replied, and I got a whole bunch of, I mean, I got like a little bit of a 15 seconds of fame thing there within that thread. A whole bunch of people replied, and I had this huge conversation, and one of the people there was like, you know what, like, I came in here expecting to have some kind of dog shit argument, but then I actually started realizing you're like actually somebody I can talk to. And then, like, I have to like kind of roll my eyes a little bit, not roll my eyes, I have to kind of like sit back and kind of like let this person kind of figure this out. But basically the vibe I got from this person was that you're not like those other trans people. And it makes you feel like, okay, so if I acted in a way that you didn't accept, you're saying that you wouldn't accept me. That I have to act this way, and if I act any other way, you're not going to take me seriously. And I feel like that specific line with like accepting Martin Luther King's movement, but not accepting Malcolm X's movement, which is the same movement. Do you understand? Like, people were afraid of Malcolm X because they saw him as militant. Like, he like led a group of men, and they walked down to the freaking courthouse to like, you know, file a like I forgot exactly what it is. God damn it, I'm really bad at history sometimes with specific details. But it's in the movie Malcolm X. Like, there's a scene, and this really happened, like where they literally just walked. It was a bunch of black men saying, we're going to walk and we are not going to hide. We're not going to sit back in the shadows. But people saw that as violent. Because, like, oh yeah, we don't want these upstarts. We don't want these people, you know, like, that's how people talked back then. Back in the 60s and 70s, full 50s, 60s, 70s. When people started to actually, like, complain and say this is not right and try to make change. But yeah, like, obviously, what, you know, it was harder to see the whole picture back then because there wasn't the internet. You would only hear about like the actual marches, like the women marching, you know, for, you know, like, yeah, some people, like, you know, like they did the bra burning, they, you know, like, and then people just see that as like, oh, it's just a bunch of angry women. And it's like, well, obviously, like, wouldn't you be angry if, like, you had to have, like, you couldn't own a bank account? Like, you had to have, like, a husband, like, sign his name as your bank account? Like, and there's countries still in the world where you can't even go out in public without a man with you. And here's what really gets me is people do not understand. Sometimes people will say like, oh, what do you know? You're like, you used to be a man or whatever, like you don't know what it's like to be a woman. It's like everything about my life has been that of a woman's experience, and that's actually kind of scary, because it means that like all these things that are associated with being a woman, like there's a lot of negative realities about it. And it's why it boggles my mind why anybody thinks that someone would like seek to gain anything from pretending to be a woman. Like, I don't understand why people seem to think that there's anything being gained except for personal spiritual fulfillment. Like, people are like, oh yeah, you know, only like pretending to be a woman so you can get ahead in life. It's like, are you serious? Do you like, do they not even understand that as soon as you say that you were female, if you were raised as a male, like everything about your like privilege just drops. Like, I mean, the fact that people will even talk like that, the fact that people even like start accusing you of like, oh, you know, you like, especially like with sports, for example, which that's a difficult topic because a lot of people are very opinionated, and even I'm opinionated, but I'm not a scientist. The only people who should have the opinions are actual scientists, and it's very complicated. It's not a straightforward science. Okay, like they've been working on this for like, I mean, they've allowed women in most Olympic sports for like I think 20 years now. And it's only been a problem when people get really loud on Twitter about it. So, I mean, if you want to think, you know, people are just crazy on Twitter, it's like, it kind of sucks that Twitter is such an integral part of society. Like, you could say, oh, it's just the internet, but is it? Like, it's not. Like, they talk about tweets on the news. They bring it into the actual like lawmaking and political maneuvering. Okay, like Twitter is a space for people to have discourse, and that has always been a part of society. Like since like we used to have like public forums in society, like there would be the symposiums for academic thought, and which, by the way, you know, there have been. I think it's really easy to dismiss the, you know, when you make the argument, but like, oh yeah, but you're not talking about, you know, like there's plenty of women who have made it despite like living in a man's world. And it's like, yeah, obviously there's going to be women in our lives, like who have, in history, who have like risen above and like made accomplishments, but like there's a bigger picture. Like, yeah, like a few people can like, you know, make it happen. But it's just like, you know, that there's still a big picture and there's still a problem. And just because it's like saying that racism doesn't exist just because we don't have slavery. It's like, yeah, but like it still exists. Okay. Like, it's just so narrow-minded. And I don't know, it's just really kind of frustrates me. I'm a pretty reasonable person, and I like to hear people out and hear their side of the story, and hear how they think about things. And yeah, I mean, honestly, like content creators like Asmongold, for example, he's just some random dude playing video games and talking about stuff. In the end of the day, it's just another random voice on the internet. Why should I care? But at the same time, it's also like, okay, well, you know, he's like playing with fire for a long time. He's like, it just sucks that like it feels like he's like a conversation or two away from like understanding things a little bit deeper. But I feel like he's like missing all of his chances. Like there's like a chance that he could like see it a different way and like, you know, maybe like kind of make some headway into having a conversation with these topics. But he sees it through the lens of his own point of view and from the point of view of his viewers, which are mostly male. In fact, I think like like 99.998% of his viewers are male. Okay. I think I'm like one of the only female viewers he has. But here's the thing is like, it's just frustrating when you have to like, you have to fight just to like be taken seriously, and then people are never really going to fully accept you. And like I said, I don't like thinking about it this way, but if you really look at it, I've been treated like a female my entire life. And that's sad that that could be a negative thing, but it is, because a lot of women have been treated like this their whole life too. And in a lot of ways, I kind of had it easy. In other ways, I didn't, because it's like I was like raised as a boy. Even though I didn't really see myself as a boy or a girl when I was growing up, I was just a kid. But it was drilled into my brain by society, by other people around me. And I'm not saying they're wrong for this. This is just what it is. Is like I was just, basically made to believe that I was a boy. And it seemed logical. I mean, people didn't really understand gender differences or gender dysphoria or anything like that. Obviously it happened, but I wasn't one of those cases where like I knew when I was 4. Like a lot of the people who knew early on, it's like that's not always the case. Like some people, it's just really kind of confusing for a while. I didn't really know until I was like 18. And by then I'd already gone through puberty, and now I'm just doing the best I can to undo that puberty. But you can never fully undo it, and it makes you feel miserable. It makes you feel like, okay, well, this is the best shot I have, but it still sucks. It's amazing and it's beautiful. And the fact that I can get this surgery to change my body parts, my genitals, like that's a big deal. That wasn't available for most of history. People just had to deal with these feelings and shove them down, because if they talked about them, they had lobotomies. They would take people away and put them into asylums. People's lives became a living hell. So either they shut it down, or they basically became pariahs of society. It's like if your only two choices are to die, or to live with absolute torture, to die, or to live in absolute, like, basically be seen as like mentally ill for your whole life and never taken seriously, never trusted, always seen as a disease. Like, those are the three options. Like, live in silence, which is torture, kill yourself, which is obviously not an option, not a good one. It's or come out and live your truth, but exist in a world that doesn't accept you and hurts you before it. And it's scary as hell, because my life is going to be like that for the rest of my life. And it shouldn't be that way. It should be celebrated. I should be allowed the same opportunities as other people. And when even other women are like sympathetic for me, like, oh, like, I'm sorry that you have to go through that. That's when the majority of women I've talked to are basically like, very understanding of what I'm going through, because it's just a different form of being a woman, and it's really hard for a lot of people to understand. It's just, here's another list, here's another reason, like, I don't know, it's a weird thing. I need some water. But yeah, I don't know what to really think about it. It's an ongoing thing. It's an ongoing conversation. It's like one of these things where it's like you can't really solve it. And also, I don't even really know all the details. All I know is that I'm a person and I have experience of being a person. And that's about it. I think when you start to try to like quantify things, you like try to put things into like, you know, like I am this person and this is like the experience of being this person. And it's like there's so many things going on that like, how do you know for certain that your experience is because of etc.? Like, how do I know that the reason I had my experience was because I'm trans? Or how do I know this experience wasn't because I'm autistic? Or wasn't because I just happened to be female in general? Or my experience was for some unrelated reason. Maybe it was just pure randomness. Had nothing to do with gender or anything at all. Who knows? I can never really know. And you go crazy trying to figure out like why things happen the way they happen. I can't go back and change the past. I never had control over the past anyway. I didn't have control over what happened or how people perceived me or how people interacted with me. All I know is that I just did the best I can with the knowledge I had. Everyone does. And so it's like, it's so hard to have these conversations because like everybody has a different experience with the same thing. And when you try to talk about these things, it's really hard to talk about things in a general sense when it's such a case-by-case scenario. But so many women have come out and spoken up about like what they've had to deal with, like in the workplace or at home, or you know, with issues of harassment, especially sexual harassment, but even the smaller stuff that's not small, such as just kind of not being taken seriously. Like you say something and people smile and nod, but in the back of the mind they're like, oh, that's just some stupid woman saying something. It's so infuriating. And the angry part is that I don't even feel like I'm allowed to speak out for feminism. When even if I was a man, it would be perfectly okay for me to speak out about feminism. Because feminism isn't about being a woman. It's about women having you know, more currency in society, like having like actual say in their lives. And so it's like, first of all, even if I wasn't female, then I can still be a feminist, like, because men are feminists too. And but part of me feels like I'm not allowed to like speak up. When it's like, of course I'm allowed to speak up. I'm a woman. I just, like any woman, I don't have like the same exact experience of any other woman out there. I just have the experience of being assigned male at birth, being raised as a male, and then finding out that I'm not male. Which, if you put it this way, like, if you forced a woman to be raised as male who was like born with like the sexual characteristics of a female, but then was like forced to be raised as a boy. In fact, like there's that infamous was John Money case with that boy who had like a botched circumcision, and then he and the parents like took it upon themselves to raise him as a girl because he wanted to do some experiment, and that was terrible. And he ended up losing his life. Like he ended up taking his own life later in life. You know, he went through a lot, and after he got the surgery to go back and to be a male, because you know he was assigned female against his will. Which is the same for a trans person. So like people use that as like an anti-trans rhetoric, but it's actually like pro-trans, because it's like this kid was like a boy. He was born as a boy, but then he was forced to be a girl and raised as a girl. And he hated his life and he was suicidal. And then when he found out, when he was like older, like a little older, like he didn't want to be a girl anymore. He didn't know there was an option. Like because he knew something was wrong. But like everyone around him was saying, no, you're a girl, it's fine. Like that's the exact same kind of experience. And I don't expect people to understand this, but it's a real thing. And I think it's extremely insensitive to assume that you know every single thing about what people experience, because you only know what you've experienced. You don't know what everyone else has experienced. You just don't. And you know, it's like, just because you don't understand it doesn't mean it's fake. Because it's very real. And if it were fake, if it were just a one-time thing, then there wouldn't be so many of us. Like, there's millions of us. Like, 1% is a lot. Okay? It obviously, comparatively, it's much smaller. But, like, 1% of 8 billion? Like, come on. Like, that's like 80 million or something like that. Like there's like 80 million of us or something like that. But come across a person who's battling themselves. I mean, that's what you think. Everyone's battling themselves. I mean, if you really think about it. Your name is Have Gun. No guns allowed. So every time I like alt tab, it seems to like mess up the screen. Like I click over here and it just like screws up. Do I like need to like clear the cache of the Chatterino or something? Is that what's doing this? I mean, I don't know what to say. You know, it's like people are obviously going to think whatever they think. You don't know me at all. like why would you say that? It's ridiculous. How I mean, that's your opinion. Why would I come across as somebody who's battling themselves? You have nothing about me. Obviously, everyone's battling themselves. You might not realize it, but you are. I don't know why people think that like you get so psychoanalyzed, right? Like as soon as you like speak out about something, people are saying, "Oh, well, you know, it's because you're mentally ill." It's like that's a non-argument. Like, okay, well, what if I was? I mean, it doesn't mean anything. Like, it's like, oh, you're only saying that because you're like battling yourself, or it's like what does that even mean? Like what the hell does that even mean? I don't know why people can't see the things the way I see them. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, come on. Like, all you have to do is just open your mind a little bit. And, like, you would see things the way I do. Like, it's not that hard. People like to do this thing where they say like, oh, you're only trans because you had a traumatic childhood. And it's like, if that was the case, you think there would be a lot more than 1% of us? Because there's a lot more people who have had childhood trauma than just trans people. Okay. Like you think that there has to be some external reason why somebody would be trans. That is a false assumption based on some kind of arbitrary, like, oh, I don't agree with it. I think it's weird. So therefore, someone would only do that if there was something wrong with them. It's like, yeah, obviously there's something wrong and I'm fixing it. That's why I'm getting the surgery, buddy. I don't know. It's like a losing battle. Like you're trying to get people to understand something that they will fundamentally never understand, and there's so few of us that it's hard to be like, I have to be like a one-woman army. I can't go the same exact route as other communities do, because if you get a bunch of trans people together, we're still only 1% of the population. We can't use our numbers. I mean, possibly if you got like hundreds of thousands of us together, you know, then it would be like a little bit harder to ignore us. But honestly, do you think that's really reasonable? Like, that's very unlikely to happen. We have to go a different strategy. We have to fight for our individual selves, and it's exhausting because everywhere you go, people aren't really going to fully accept you. And you try to join a guild in a game like World of Warcraft, and even people who accept you, deep down, you feel like they don't really accept you. And you feel like they're just saying that because they don't want to get canceled. It's a terrible feeling, because it's also, how dare I? Like, how dare I accuse people of saying things just to not get canceled? Like, what if they actually do support me and care about me? Why am I accusing them of being bad people? It's a weird situation. It is all I'm trying to say. And I wish that I didn't have to go through this. And I wouldn't want anyone to go through this. Like, I don't want other people to go through this. Like, I just want to be able to be happy. And I try my best. But there's just always something that seems to make me upset. And it's like, the answer isn't just quitting everything. Because, you know, that's a bad route to go. You don't want to quit your life. You don't. Okay? I mean, that's a really bad rabbit hole to go down. I can't just throw everything away. I worked too hard to get here. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm going to come across however I come across. I can't control what other people think about me, but I know who I am. I know what I stand for. And like, I don't give a fuck. Okay, like, I am who I am. I'm gonna speak my mind. And if it makes you uncomfortable, then fuck you. Deal with it. And yeah, like, you know, it's it's a little odd to say, but you know, I'm not offended when women will say I have a vagina, deal with it, because I mean, I will have a vagina, so you better deal with it. But you know, there's some women have penises, okay, and some men have vaginas, okay, so having a vagina or having a penis doesn't make you a man or a woman, okay, like but I'm okay with that statement, because that statement is rooted in vagina not meaning vagina. It's like, it's talking about womanhood. Like, I'm okay with women saying that. And first of all, I'm not going to be able to make them stop, and that would be weird if I did. because there's a bigger picture. Okay, like obviously there's going to be people that have a problem with women saying that. Like, get the fuck over it, okay? Like, that's not why they're saying it. They're not saying it because they hate trans people, okay? And I'm sure there's a lot of women who are transphobic, but I don't think that women are being transphobic by saying that, because that's taking away the root of why women say that, is because they're trying to say, like, I'm a woman, you're not going to shut me down. That's what that means. And if you actually like try to understand what people are intending to say, instead of just, let's just look at everything, literally, let's just look at everything from factual basis. Like, really? Like, you can't. There's no such thing as like non-bias. Like, we're humans. We have the experience of being human. It's a very subjective experience. And nothing we do, like, exists in a vacuum. And I think it's like, I think it's limiting your way of thinking if you try to look at everything in a vacuum. Because there are real things at play. And if you deny those things, then, you know, you're basically limiting yourself. You're not fully exploring the depth of a conversation when you fail to admit that there is an inherent bias. You know, like, there's an inherent bias from my point of view, because I was like, I'm a woman who was raised to be a boy, and I convinced myself I was male for a long time. But you can't be someone you're not. Okay? And biology has very little to do with it. It has a lot to do with, like, people like put biology and they see it as like a black and white thing, but it's never been black and white. You know, this conversation is so tiresome, but we have to live with it for the rest of our lives. And that's frustrating as hell. It's gonna pop up in some form or another, like, regardless of, like, even if you don't bring it up. Like, it's that thread is going to get pulled. And it's frustrating. And then people would say, like, oh, then why are you trans? It's like, because it's not a choice. like what part of that don't you get? And also, I shouldn't be, like, upset that I'm trans. I should be celebrating it. I am celebrating it. Like, I am happy to be me. That I get to be me. That I get these treatments. Because I would not want life without these treatments. I can't have life without these treatments. And I don't know why people would think that that's an ugly thing, when it's absolutely beautiful. Yeah, I'm kind of rambling, so. I wish I could figure out what's going on here. Every time, like, my GPU is, like, doing something weird. Do I need to, like, turn on the fan? GPU temperature is 55. Like, what is going on? Okay. Seriously. I mean, I don't know. I'm just like kind of just rambling on about random things. I don't know if it's really going to be helpful to talk about. Just wanted to get it off my chest. But it is hard for, you know, to feel like anything you say is like valuable, because it just makes you feel like nothing you say matters, because it's like people are just gonna not take you seriously, or they're gonna, you know, think you're crazy or something, which is frustrating because, like, well, how am I any less crazy than anybody else? Doesn't make any sense. Like I don't know, it just doesn't make sense.
Good luck, friend. Be careful. Gobbler's knob. A lot of auction house stuff going on there.
Oh. Oh, control 1. Yeah, so if I switched, if I've already gotten threat, I've kind of already developed threat, and I kind of every 4 minutes switch over to battle stance. If I'm in defensive stance, get some threat generated, go into battle stance, and then I can hit retaliation. Also for execute. That's like super min-maxing, but mostly for retaliation. Retaliation is really good instant. But yeah, shield slam, that's the big game changer here. Let's put this. Yeah, I should put on control E. Right. And this next level I get another improved defensive stance. And I believe I can start going into arms to get deflection, increase parry chance. Okay. So yeah, the big one is shield slam. And then this is the same with I can use this in both forms, both stances, I mean. And cleave is also stance neutral. I already have Sunder armor here, so I can also have slam right there. Which means on Q. Heroic strike, but I also have heroic strike on E for when I'm in battle stance. Yeah, every time I alt tab, there's some issue. Why is it using so much GPU? I don't have anything set to use GPU. I have it using CPU. Like, do I have anything set to hardware accelerated? I just wonder if I don't have, if I have something set to hardware accelerated somewhere. Maybe I should have hardware acceleration for my camera. I don't know if that fixed it. Is that all I needed? It's just hardware acceleration. Nilly willy. We'll see how it goes. Okay, I think I have it all set for now. I have to have a double heroic strike because I need an extra action bar from when I switch to battle stance because I need charge. I just feel weird with execute being here. Oh, maybe I should just put execute there. It makes more sense because I'm used to execute being on Control E. Yeah, stance dancing is something I think it's going to become more and more necessary. Because I have stuff like retaliate. That requires battle stance and execute. Or berserker stance. Wait, when do I get berserker stance? Is that a talent or is it a or is it actually trained ability? Yeah, Armor to the Teeth is a talent I eventually get for in Fury talents. Just one more protection for now, coming up next level, and then we're gonna do for like 5 into deflection. I think it's an actual spell.
Greetings. Do you seek instruction in Art of War?
What's dual talent?
Greetings. Do you seek instruction in Art of War?
$1,000 gold for that? Jeez.
Del Madre. Greetings. Do you seek instruction in Art of War?
Apparently in Cataclysm, they get rid of that fee. I'm not sure though. That may have just been hearsay. Like someone may have just been talking shit. Wait, where's Berserker stance? I don't have Berserker stance, do I? Or do you have to get that in talent? Is that a talent? This improved Berserker stance. But I don't have Berserker stance. What the hell? When do you get glyphs? Oh, here we go. There's a whole bunch of glyphs. Bloodthirst. See, there it goes again. Yeah, it's still doing it. Glyph of blocking, glyph of vigilance, and glyph of devastate. I don't have devastate yet though. Wait, what is devastate? Glyph of blocking. Glyph of vigilance. I can only have 2 major glyphs. Oh, that one's too expensive. I need to farm for that. Hey, what's up? I don't know what you're trying to link, but I don't have my chat allow links. It makes things a lot easier to moderate. Yeah, I need more gold for that. Thunderclap. And shattering throw. That's higher level, isn't it? Yeah, there's this like CPU issue. Every time I alt tab, like there's some big delay. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on anymore. Why is my computer breaking? Yeah, those three, but I'm also lower level. These are higher level abilities, right? Prot Warrior level Devastate. I also need more gold to get Vigilance. It's a level 10 ability? So I already have it? Well, they don't have one on the auction house, so I'm gonna have to go find it. Okay. With Devastate. Oh, it's level 50. That's why it's not there. Yeah, it's a level 50 ability. Glyph. I got Glyph of Blocking. Can't afford Glyph of Vigilance yet. I gotta save up. I got a Thunderclap. Glyph of Shattering Throw. What are you gonna shat at me? That's level 75. And I can only use 2 major glyphs, so I need to get that Glyph of Blocking or Glyph of Vigilance, but I need to save up some gold for that. So we need to farm it up. See, every time I hit Alt Tab, there's like some issue. Is it the Vista? I wonder if it's the Vista switcher thing. Wait, what is that? I don't know, man. Protect. Yeah, I have the link. I've been using Wowhead. I have the whole guide right here. I'm just saying some of those are higher level. And also, I can't afford this one yet. I need some more. I need like 20 more gold. And Devastate, this one's higher level. That one's level 50. I only get one minor glyph and 2 major glyphs, so I need to save this other glyph for vigilance. Devastate's not till higher level, and I don't get a third slot till level 80. I don't get another minor glyph until level 50. So we're only level 40, so no, we're just gonna do random dungeons for extra XP and extra silver. And an extra satchel. Yeah, we just need to farm up some gold. Hopefully a couple dungeons and maybe stuff will sell in the auction house. Oh, you're 37, you're Hunter? Are you on right now? You want to queue up together? If you get on your Hunter, you can queue up with me. I feel like every now and then I get like, I know I was talking about stuff earlier, every now and then I have to get stuff off my chest. Sometimes I feel like I never really allow myself, and maybe that's not even by choice, but sometimes I feel like I don't get a chance to just be, you know, like I do plenty of that though, so, you know, like right now I'm just trying to enjoy WoW. And okay, yeah, this weekend. I mean, we got a whole weekend ahead of us, so, you know, no rush. Enjoy, you know, I hope you enjoy leveling mage. Yeah, maybe you'll get your mage up to 40 plus, you know, to play with me. I really do enjoy playing, and I'm glad that you're here and that you want to level with me and stuff. I'm really happy about the fact that I'm not just alone on my gaming journey. That I have my stream coming along with me, and ever since I started playing WoW, I've had people like you who have, you know, actually wanted to, you know, get involved, and it's like now I have something that I didn't have before, which I think it's pretty awesome that I have this option. Not a whole lot of people can say that. I'm removing this person. I think that person was trying to sell me gold. Yeah, I forgot I have Shield Bash in the rotation again. Like I did on Dragonflight. No, I think that person wanted to sell gold to me. I don't think that person actually wanted to be my friend. Like, I thought I made a friend, and I'm like, wait a minute, that person was trying to buy, probably was like thinking I wanted to buy gold. Like, I reported the person too, and then he added me as a friend, even after, I didn't tell him I reported him, but I'm like, why did I accept it? I didn't realize. Very likely to be a gold seller, honestly. The way he was talking to me, not because it was Chinese, it was in Chinese. It was the way he was, it was what he was saying. He was saying like, we'll talk later. And I'm like, no. And then does retaliate doesn't cancel when I switch stances. So that's what they mean by stance dance. Okay, I get it. So I can use certain abilities by switching stances and then switch right back. I don't have to keep battle stance while retaliation is active. Okay. Yeah, and whenever needed, like for execute, for example. But I lose rage, so I gotta be careful. Jesus, somebody just said. He's like, Jesus. Yeah, this dungeon's definitely loaded. Stacking like cash. I gotta bring it to them. I gotta tank. I gotta bring over the group to them while I'm tanking, and I don't know if. They weren't going with me. I like went to go grab a group. At least the paladin went with me. Ooh. 373 armor, nice. I didn't get it. The paladin, the other paladin got it. DPS paladin. The one game Nodi beats narcotics.
Slay them, my brethren, from the scourge.
There's two paladins and a warrior, and somebody was like, "Who's the tank?" And I'm like, "Me?"
leave this place alive. I am the hand who serve the Lich. Come, spirits, attend your master.
Yeah, I was a little sloppy there sometimes. Sometimes it's hard to get, it was hard to keep threat, and it's hard to build rage. Like, honestly, like, that fight and, like, some other fights, I kept, like, having a difficulty building rage. If I don't get all of the AoE, all of them AoEing all over me at the beginning, if I don't have any threat at the beginning, it's really hard to get the threat. But if I start out with a lot of the threat, especially if I have the shield block, like, I can just get a revenge, and like with enough rage I can get like the thunderclap out, and then I can just do the revenge and get some shield slams. Oh, and thanks for the follow, Nilly Willy. I missed ya. This is what it sucks whenever I alt tab out of the game. There's some big lag, and it sucks. It really takes away from the experience. Like, I like to do things. I mean, I'm a streamer. I pull things up from, like, I pull up the activity feed, and you know, I'll pull up the chat and stuff, and it's like, why is it doing this? Yep. I think I can just switch it back to default. Yeah, now the fan's on. Yeah, now it's like gotten a lot cooler. Jesus Christ. It's not even that loud. Like, that's so much nicer. Lower temp. But I don't know if it's the GPU that's causing this. Okay, I get any goodies? An extra 2 strength and stamina for lower crit or lower defense. I think switching it out for the defense one. Armor's 333. Oh, defense is 200 or 207. Like, I don't know if that's a big difference. But what is this extra strength and extra stamina? I'm at 2199. That's 2229. So that's an extra 100 HP. Oh no, it's extra 30 HP. And my damage is 140 to 180. Or my power is at 456. It's under 9,000. 452. So 456. And some extra HP. Okay. So it gives an extra 4 power. And an extra 30 HP. For 7 less defense. I get like 46.73% damage reduction with my current armor. Yeah, and those can go up on the auction house. Oh, this music's pumping. See, I just like click on the VLC and... Yeah, that's every single time it like does that. Why is it doing that? You know, I'm gonna try switching to the hardware encoder. I don't know if it's like if there's something changed in an AMD update. If now you have to use the hardware instead of the CPU decoder. Because normally for AMD video cards for OBS. Normally, you'd have to use X264 because it has a hardware decoder. But maybe I should switch to the hardware decoder mode on OBS. That might change it. So I'll be right back. Okay, well hopefully this doesn't also cause a problem. Otherwise there's a different thing going on. If this fixes it, then that's fine, but I'm just not sure. See, it still hasn't fixed it. So I'm switching back. This isn't the problem.